So you want to get your license. Okay. Let me just say this. I was driving illegally before I got my license, but they can't get me now. Statute of limitations, right? I had my ID in Texas, and then you don't need to like have actual schooling to go get like your license, right? You could do like parent teaching, so I did that. But my mom and stuff, single parent, whatever, whatever. It just took a while. But I bought a car before I like officially got my license, like just from a private seller. So I was driving with a state ID. Got pulled over once before, and they didn't say anything. So they didn't even notice that it wasn't a license. To be fair, it was a new cop. So like, got lucky, but still. Yeah. And I failed my driving test 2 times. And it wasn't even my fault. I got in the car, I sit back like this, and I immediately failed for being too relaxed. I would want to drive with someone that's relaxed rather than someone that's uptight. That's just me saying that, but whatever. So you want to get your license. Let's see.
Alright, so getting your driver's license is supposed to be like this big milestone in life, right? Freedom, independence, all that stuff. But in reality, it's one of the most stressful and embarrassing processes you'll ever go through. Like, the government basically hands you
It
a car
blows.
and says, good luck, try not to kill anyone. And the way people hype it up makes it worse. Everyone's like,
Oh my god, my first time drive. This is literally this was literally me. My first time driving the car like that I bought like for the first time. I've never really driven a car except my mom's car before then. Driving it back, yo. I was pushed up on the steering wheel like this. Two hands, looking at everything, so nervous. Wouldn't go above like 40 miles per hour. And today I fucking
once you get your
I'm
license, you can go
zooming
anywhere you
today.
want. Bro, no I can't. I still live with my parents. I got like $3 in my bank account, and gas is $5 a gallon. The only place I'm driving is straight back home. Not to mention, the whole process is designed to humble you. Like, you'll walk into the DMV thinking
Bruh.
you're ready for adulthood, and the second you step up to that counter, some 60-year-old lady with glasses down her nose just looks at you like, you're not built for this. And she's right, because 5 minutes later, you're out there
Ew.
stalling your car in front of a
Bruh.
line of 30 people
just
who
spit
all
on
hate you
himself?
now. So let's talk about what actually happens when you try to get your license. First off, you gotta get your learner's permit, which is basically the government saying, here's a piece of paper that lets you legally traumatize your parents in the passenger seat. Every drive turns into a hostage situation.
Oh,
Your mom's
nah.
clutching the door handle like you're driving a fighter jet. Your dad's yelling, brake earlier every 5 seconds, and God forbid you miss a stop sign, suddenly you're the worst driver alive. And the crazy
Hell
part
yeah.
is your parents forget
My mom was definitely backseat driver when I was learning how to drive, and she was like riding with me, gripping the seatbelt and everything.
that they drive like maniacs too. Like, they'll be
And
yelling at you for not
everything.
using your blinker,
crazy.
but last week you watched them cut across 3 lanes like they were in the new Fast and Furious movie. Plus, having a permit makes you a second-class citizen. You can't even drive alone. You need some random adult next to you at all times. Like, bro, if I'm old enough to control a 2-ton death machine on the freeway, why do I still need my mom sitting there with a Diet Coke acting like she's my parole officer? Then there's driving school, where some random
my gosh,
40-year-old
the
dude who
worst.
looks like he's given up
The
on life
worst
teaches you how to
experience
parallel
ever.
park. The car always smells weird, like a mix of old coffee and regret, and they make you do the dumbest stuff, like a 3-point turn. Like, bro, I'm not driving a forklift, I just want to get the Taco Bell.
First time trying the new cheesy crunch wrap. Let's see how it tastes.
And these instructors always have that dead behind the eyes look, like they've watched thousands of teenagers almost plow into a mailbox and now nothing excites them anymore. You could literally crash into a fire hydrant and they just write it down, like, yep, -5 points, don't do that again. They also purposely take you on the worst possible roads. Like, bro, I live in the suburbs, why
Yeah,
are
it's
you making me
trash.
merge onto the freeway in the middle of rush hour? I just learned where the headlights are, I'm not ready to battle semis going 80. And for some reason, they love parking
Oh
drills,
my God,
parallel park
parallel
between
parking
these
is
two
the
cones back into
worst,
this imaginary
bro.
spot. Like, when am I
Oh
ever
my
going to
God,
use
it's
this?
so
Nobody in
bad.
history has ever said, oh, sorry guys, I can't come out tonight. I really failed my 3-point turn. Plus, the silence is brutal. You're in a car with this stranger,
Ugh.
and the whole time you're trying to impress him like it's a date.
I couldn't even turn on the radio. I turned on the radio. Dude's like, you could turn, like, we don't need that. I'm like, what? I turn on the radio in the car just to like have background noise, and he's like, turn it off. We don't need that. You can't make it more stressful.
You didn't agree to. You flick the blinker
Holy.
on 2 streets early, and so he notices, like, see, I'm responsible. Meanwhile, he's staring out the window, sighing, writing hieroglyphics on his clipboard, zero validation. Now comes the actual road test, easily the most stressful 15 minutes of your life. You've been practicing for months, but the second that instructor sits in the passenger seat, your brain forgets how cars even work. Like, I'll be gripping the wheel so hard, you think I'm landing a plane. And the instructors never help either. They just sit there in complete
just sit and
silence,
watch.
scribbling on their little
That's it.
clipboard
They
like they're
just sit
writing
and
your
watch. No help
obituary.
at
You
all.
could literally save a baby duck crossing the road, and they'd still be like, you didn't check your mirrors enough. Automatic fail. The worst part is they never tell you how you're doing during the
hate
test. Like,
automatic
you're just
fail.
sweating bullets, thinking, okay, I nailed that stop sign, right? That was clean. Meanwhile, the guy's just clicking his pen like he's deciding if you deserve human rights. And parallel parking, that's the final boss. You could drive perfectly the entire test, but if you so much as touch the curb, they act like you just committed a felony. Like, bro, half the adults out here park like absolute garbage. Why is this the standard?
real.
And if you fail, oh, that
Like, how did everyone pass the driving test? I see people park like horrible all the time. Parallel parking, fuck, they got half the car out in the middle of the road still. People take up 2 spaces in lanes. People park so close to you when parallel parking, their bumper's like right on your bumper, you can't even get out. Like, what?
That's the walk of shame.
What?
Nothing hurts more than walking out of the DMV while some
outta here.
16-year-old behind you is celebrating like they just won the Super Bowl. You gotta call your parents like, yeah, so we're gonna be Ubering for a few more weeks. And the retest,
Damn.
way worse, because now the instructor already knows you're trash.
Never
they sit down
retest
like,
at the same
oh, it's
place.
you again. And suddenly every tiny mistake is magnified. Forgot your blinker? Fail. Rolled half an inch over the line? Fail. Blinked too aggressively? Fail. It really feels like a driving test is more like some government-sanctioned hazing ritual.
What
like,
is that
congrats,
video?
you survived high school. Now let's see if you can survive me quietly judging you for 15 minutes straight. And if you do pass, congrats. Now you get to join the most chaotic experience of all, driving with your friends. Because the second you pick them up, they act like your car is a party bus. Someone's fighting for the aux, somebody else is hanging halfway through the window, and there's always that one friend in the back spilling Taco Bell all over.
No, but Texas is a different beast. Like, yes, congratulations, you passed the driving test. Nobody prepares you for driving in Texas. Number 1 worst
your
drivers in the
seats
country.
like it's their own personal trash
It's
can.
crazy.
Suddenly
I'm one
you're
of them
not the
now.
cool
It's
guy
insane.
with the car. You're the unpaid Uber driver. Every text is just, bro, can you pick me up? We need a ride. Like, damn, I didn't get this license so I could chauffeur half the school. I just wanted to get a McFlurry without adult supervision. Then comes the gas money argument. Every group has that one guy who never
come on, bro,
pays.
just
You
throw-
could
you throw
drive
me
them
10.
across the entire state, drop them off at their front door, and they'll hit you with, bro, I'll get you next time. Spoiler, there is no next time. This man hasn't seen a gas pump in his life. And the thing about being first in your group with the license is suddenly you're everybody's servant. Like, you're not their friend anymore, you're their taxi. Midnight trips to Taco Bell, guess you're driving. Someone's crush lives 20 minutes away, you're driving. Someone wants to just cruise, guess what? You're driving.
driving.
Meanwhile, your tank's on empty and you're praying your parents don't notice you burn through half a paycheck in gas money. And late night drives are their own horror movie. Everyone's laughing, music's blasting, but the second you get pulled over,
It's
all your
over.
so-called friends just
It's
turn into
GGs.
lawyers in the backseat whispering advice. Bro, don't admit anything. Just tell him you're speeding because your grandma's sick. Like, shut up, man. You're the reason I missed the stop sign in the first place. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Once the hype dies down, you realize that driving kind of sucks. Like, yeah, you've got the
Trash.
freedom, but now you also are stuck dealing with the
Whoa.
absolute worst people on the road. You've got the guy who thinks turn signals are
Look at
optional, the
that,
lady going
bro.
20 in the fast lane, and of course, the dude in the lifted truck who takes it personally if you merge in front of him. And don't even get me started
your
on traffic.
Uber,
Like,
get
nothing
it.
humbles you faster than sitting bumper to bumper for 40
my
minutes
God,
to go
the
3
worst.
miles. You're sitting there like, wow, I really begged.
I actually love driving, but oh my god, bumper to bumper traffic, bro, it's the worst. And I feel like in Dallas, like in Texas, it's just getting worse. Like, people just keep coming to Dallas and Houston and Austin. It's like, bro, move. Go back to where you came from.
The DMV for
We do
this
not want
privilege.
you here.
Parking lots are war zones. It doesn't matter if
Oh,
it's Walmart,
smokes.
Costco, or some random strip mall. People will straight up cut across 10 spaces diagonally just to beat you by 5 seconds. And there's always that one psychopath who backs into every spot like they're rehearsing for NASCAR pit crew tryouts. Once you get sick of borrowing your parents' minivan, reality hits. You gotta buy your own car, which sounds awesome until you realize every option is either insanely expensive or complete garbage. Like, it's either a brand new car car that costs more than your entire
Or a
net
rust
worth,
bucket
or a
that
2003
barely moves
Honda
and no
Civic with
AC.
280,000 miles and a quirky rattling noise that definitely means the engine's about to explode. And the sellers always act like it's a hidden gem, like, oh yeah, it runs great, just don't roll down the windows or touch the AC, and make sure you keep a jug of coolant in the trunk at all times. Bro, that is not a car, that's a time bomb on wheels. Insurance?
Thanks,
Forget
bro.
about it. The government basically looks at you, a 17-year-old, and says, yeah, you're definitely crashing within the first 6 months.
Oh, is this a turn right here?
So here's an insurance
Crap.
bill for
Everyone, hang
500.
on. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you so much. I'm so sorry.
They charge you like $400 a month for the privilege of driving a car that barely starts. And when you do finally buy one, it's not freedom. It's another money pit. Oil changes, tires, random lights popping up on the
Hey,
dashboard. It's like you're
we
playing
own nothing
whack-a-mole.
in
You think you're
America.
buying an independence, but in reality, you're just signing up for permanent debt. So yeah,
The only thing you hold on, man. The only thing you owe in America is other people money. That's just hands down. That's just hands down.
getting
what
your
it
license
bro.
is hyped
There's
up
nothing
like
else
it's
you
the
can do
key to
about it,
freedom.
bro. There's not. I hit the space bar. There's nothing else you can do about it.
But it's really just the start of a
crazy.
whole new headache. First, you traumatize your parents, then some guy in a polo shirt makes you parallel park, then you get judged
thought
by a
that car was
DMV
gonna hit the red one
executioner
still
with a
with all that
clipboard,
space.
and eventually you go broke from gas, insurance, and your friends mooching rides. So, yeah, getting your license is just your first subscription plan to adulthood, and trust me, there's no cancel button. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. All my videos are on Spotify early if you want to go check that out.
That's crazy. Nah, he's running the game, posting videos on Spotify because they do video. Like this guy's ahead of his time. Shout out to that boy Cheats. Link in the description. Shout out to that boy Cheats, boy. I'm gonna see you on the next video. Deuces.